Hello friends, and welcome back to Shelley Beach, Palm Island. I just had to try the new Beach Properties DLC. And I'm not sure if anyone else noticed this, but the new signature buildings in this pack kinda look a little bit like Mara Lago, at least to me. So I was a bit inspired by West Palm Beach in Florida in the old US of A to create this nice little gated community, perfectly situated by the Shell Harbour Golf Course and Resort. But do these new assets make Cities Skylines great again? Let's find out. So I'm going to start by dragging out this existing road with the harbour that was already here and just draw this out so we can get a bit of a border for the beach. And speaking of the beach, I made this while using Paradox mods exclusively, so no more Thunderstore. It's great to see so many of the same mods already available, but I do miss having the textures, so I'll be using the dev tools a lot more for this purpose. And I've seen a lot of commentary about the fact that there is no actual beach assets here, but we can make do for now with these surfaces and some of the other little bibs and bobs we can find in the dev tools. Now the centerpiece of this place is our little Mara Lago inspired resort villa thingy. I was looking at some inspo images and some Google Earth as a bit of a guide. I just find it so fun to try and recreate things. But unfortunately, I couldn't find any boxes of documents to stow away in the back of the building. Well, that looks pretty good and some nice views of the beach. Now time to check out these palm trees. I definitely agree with all the sentiment that it's a real damn shame that these trees are not free. But man, it's so good to have some more foliage to play with. So if we take a look at some of the inspo I used, there's a bit of a grounds around Mara Lago, and opposite the road is another little estate with a swimming pool right in the middle. So a good opportunity to use the water features mod, but give it our own little flair by making it a bit more of a tropical vibe with these boulders around it. So looking again at some of these pictures, a lot of these places have the red coloured roofs. So I'm going to try and use some of the other signature buildings as well as some of the actual beach property assets to make sure we get this colour throughout the residential here. And because I'm going for some specific assets, I'm going to use the dev tools to find what I'm looking for by searching for these waterfront properties. You can actually zone these now and have them pop up as the game chooses, which I think is promising for how future expansions in the game will work. Very simple to use, and I'll be relying on this zoning as we build out more of the standard neighbourhoods around our little Mara Lago. Another handy update I noticed in this patch is the DevTools menu is a lot more organised, easy to search, and you can expand it to better read these long names of the assets. Now I do like these new assets quite a lot. I think they're super cute and it's nice to finally have some variation with things like multiple story houses. I just wish there were some that were just a little bit bigger. And it's a real pain, the Rico mod isn't available yet, so it means I'm restricted to using the signature buildings just once. I just can't stand it. Have I missed a mod that does this? Hopefully it will be available soon anyway. And I have to say, I do very much enjoy these palms. And speaking of the greenery, the other thing I noticed is there is so much of it on Palm Beach. I suppose mostly for privacy, with lots of built up trees around all the fancy houses, or more like compounds. So we'll definitely be doing that as well. Just a few more palm trees and our little Mara Lago is coming along. Now I'm going to start expanding the roads, and I want to do this in a way that I can get another building next to the main building here. There's also this long car park behind the building here, so I'll use the custom car park method using the invisible road path in the dev tools so that we can get it looking very similar. And then we can start some decoration. Okay, now it's time to build out this little gated community. I wanted to build out this little block to start with and get a bit of a template for how the rest of them would look. So I'll zone it and decorate it and see how we like it. Ah, nice view of the Shelley Skyline here. Super cute. Now I'll start adding in a little bit of commercial, just some low density near the car park. And time for a quick check-in on these buildings to see if anyone has moved in. I was surprised there's no residents here. Maybe we need to keep building out to entice some more Sims. So let's add in some fancy tennis courts and keep building out the neighborhood. The other thing I want to do is actually turn this into an island. I like the way that Palm Beach is just this little island running parallel to the mainland. So let's do it. Alright, and time to add in some services. So we'll add in the medical clinic, a crematorium, and fire and police and all of that good stuff. And we can continue to build out the neighborhood around these assets. And of course some little parks, and I didn't mind using the default assets for this. I just wanted to keep it pretty simple and tightly weave them into the neighborhood. Things are definitely getting more fleshed out now, so let's keep building. And let me know, have you been using the new DLC? What do you think? Leave me a comment below, I'd love to know. As much as I do like these new beach properties, I keep finding they're pretty thin and long, and I definitely would prefer some of these like bigger, wider assets, but we shall make do. Now, I also wanted this middle bit to be pretty low residential, but I thought having a couple of little high density on either side would give us a bit of interest and allow us to create some more jobs and shopping for all the rich people. So let's get that going. Oh yes, and of course, I forgot to mention about what kind of damage may have been done to my games due to using the Thunderstorm. So the only thing I can really notice is probably due to the Rico mod. You can see our little resort island here. These lovely little grey cubes have materialized, but I found they can just be deleted and no real issues. And while we're here, seeing as I can only use one signature building at a time, I might borrow this from here for our little shopping precinct. And just to make everything look very neat and fancy, I used a lot of the surfaces to give a consistent look to all of these little blocks. And I also noticed that my high density demand was finally going up, so I figure a few little high density residential looking over the water here would do nicely. And then I basically started looking for any vacant spots to fill up with the fine shrubbery. I quite liked using the oaks for that really bushy look, but having the palm trees peeking through. Very Palm Beach-esque. Another mod I'm super bummed about not having yet is the extended road upgrades. No more keys, at least for now. I certainly don't have the patience to do them manually. So let's whack in a jetty marina thingy instead. Now, I also purposefully left some space between the back of these buildings to make a little bit of a pedestrian mall in between. And we can use the surfaces and some invisible pedestrian paths just to make the place a little bit more lively and interesting. And then I decided to put a college here too. The other ones are just a little bit too far away, so I think it makes sense to have one here to serve the good people of Palm Island and Shell Harbour. And I think we're on the home stretch. And with one final sprinkling of shrubbery, there we have it, our new addition to Shelley Beach, Palm Island. I quite enjoyed seeing what I could do with all the new DLC, although I do agree it's probably lacking a bit. It was still refreshing to have some new buildings and foliage. I also quite liked the new radio station. But I'm mostly glad my game didn't break with the introduction of Paradox mods, and all the mods work as flawlessly as they did with the Thunderstore. I can't wait for the asset importer to be available as well. But I must say, the game felt more stable overall, so hopefully the redemption arc for Cities Skylines 2 is on the way. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Okay, thanks, bye.